adversity doesn't just build character, it reveals it.
Her creativity is efficient.
You just gotta try and experiment stuff, and then it'll naturally come in the game.
You'll do something, and the fans like, oh my gosh, how did she do it? And you're like smiling because you're like, I know how I did it, but this is my first time seeing it too.
I try and play purely off of my instinct.
How can I do something that's different? I'm like, oh, what if I do a crossover behind my back?
I remember watching you growing up. That double behind the back is what I tried to perfect.
Understanding the mind and the mentality, the mindset that it takes to get on any level, but elite.
On this podcast, we'll talk about more than just basketball. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a 2-time NCAA scoring champ and the NCAA Player of the Year. Honors I earned by putting in the work and staying focused on the bigger picture. I had dreams and aspirations of playing in the NBA a long time, but an ACL injury took me on a completely different path. We'll dive deep into real stories, challenges, and triumphs that athletes, coaches, and everyday people experience when chasing their dream.
Got the Lord with us in the ghetto, we notorious. This shit be breeding. My mama had to make a way.
Starstruck Podcast, episode 2. I have my wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guests. I can't say enough about these two, and I'm sure the world has a vivid understanding of these young people. All right, first, Miss Olivia Miles, Notre Dame's PG. I have the pleasure of coaching this lady every single day. And it's I can't say enough about it. And then also my guy, Jamal Crawford. The world knows this guy from putting people on their back to getting 50 in a game. So I just wanted to bring it in, man, and talk amongst hoopers and try to see exactly what we can get of the people of the day.
Los, can I be honest? Because first off, we family, we go all the way back. But I am so excited to talk to Liv. Like, she is incredible. She's one of my favorite players to watch in basketball, period. So I'm excited to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And she has obviously done her research on you. And, you guys connected through, some different things. So, Liv.
Yes. Hi. Thank you for having me. First of all, talking to Jamal, just an all-time great. I remember watching you growing up. That double behind the back is what I tried to perfect. That's what I remember, just being a killer and just watching you hoop at the Garden, wherever you played at. I was following you, so it's a pleasure to finally meet you and chat it up with you today.
Wow, thank you. And, I've been introduced to your game, obviously, through Los and through social, but just watching you, and it's weird because I just told Penny this, and I promise to God I'm not just making this up. There's very few people who I watch, and I get happy when I watch them play. And you're one of those people. Watching you play is special.
Thank you.
The things you see, the creativity, and I guess for me to start, where did your imagination come from? Who were you watching growing up? Where did this come from?
Yeah, I think I watched a lot of Steph Curry and LeBron. I think they kind of dominated the media at the time when I was growing up. So I watched a lot of them, and obviously LeBron's special, but I think Steph Curry has a lot of creativity to his game. He's undersized guard, so he tries to get open in creative ways. And not that I'm pretty undersized. I think 5'10" point guard is pretty big nowadays for women. So I don't have to be quicker than someone or I don't know, find creative ways to get open. I can use different moves and stuff. So I've learned from both of those greats, how to get open and how to find my shot in creative ways. And then I just try stuff out. I think a lot of people don't realize that practice is the time to just do stuff. Los and I be, shooting one hand and whatever, doing crazy stuff that, may seem like, oh, she shouldn't be doing that. But then in a Purdue game, I go and hit a 3/4 court shot, and it's stuff that we just do randomly in practice. So I feel like you just got to try and experiment stuff. And then it'll naturally come in the game.
Los, when you first saw her, I'm sure it was high school. When did you know she was special? She was different?
I have to be honest. So this is my second year at Notre Dame. So I didn't really recruit her out of high school. So once I got here, I had seen her a couple times just from a college standpoint, just dominating, doing different things that she's talking about. And like you and like me, she just had that aura about her where she would she would just go over. She'll tilt the line and just go over the top with something that she tried. You know what I mean? So I knew she was special because a lot of times you see people doing that, but you don't really see them converting like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like she'll hit somebody in the hand and they have to make the layup because it's so easy, you know? Or she'll go behind the back fake and then put it up, and it's such an easy move. Her creativity is efficient, and we both know how that is. Like, you can play with a lot of different people that's just not the case. And that's when I knew she was special.
It brings something to the game, right? Like everything is, because we're all taught, you know, from the foundation of basketball, there's fundamentals you always should have. There's different things you always should have. But then there's a person that comes along that kind of like sticks out like a sore thumb. And they're disruptive in a good way. Meaning they're going to be who they are, they're going to embrace it, they're going to own it, and then they captivate people all over. Liv, when you threw that pass, you know it's what I'm talking about. Had you done it before? Like, this just come to you? What was that like?
To be honest, like, I don't know what I was thinking. It just kind of happened, like, and that's how I try to play the game. Like, I try and play purely off my instincts, and it just kind of happened, you know. Again, Los and I, we just fool around all the time in the gym doing crazy, you know, passes. He's like, you should try this, you know, behind the head, over the top. So we're all like the creativity flows between us. So I don't know, in that moment during the game, I just threw it up, hit it, and I was like, dang, like that was kind of nice. You know, obviously she didn't finish it, but yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, I mean, that's something that both of you guys, for real, and when I thought about having y'all two, I said, man, they really do a lot of things that are similar. Right? And I want to show these, just a couple clips real quick, just the similarities of the passing game. We got the Liv, same kind of drop dime. I mean, just being able to see everywhere, man.
Oh,
Zay, you didn't know I had these in the archive, did you?
Right. You go back.
I mean, just so effortlessly, man. Effortless. So we got a few more, but I want to show.
that's dope. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys, again, like even bringing y'all together. It's such a, I don't know, a basketball spiritual moment for me. I mean, obviously, I'm a little older, so my game
Still cold.
Yeah, but you know. But I just, you know, again, I just appreciate you guys being so creative, and she know I love her to death. That's why I want her to be the best.
Right.
You know, it's a bright future for her, and I want to connect, you know, with her with people like yourself that just has done it on an extreme level, man. And it's just a beautiful thing.
The part that I saw that was so similar was her imagination. Like when I was growing up, I was watching Allen Iverson, I was watching Isaiah Thomas, I was watching all these people, and that's where Liv went back. That's where the devil behind the back came from, because Iverson at the time was doing the left to right crossover, and every kid in America was trying to do that crossover, and it worked for us in the hood for a while.
Yeah.
Until everybody's like, "Oh, you got to do the Iverson." Oh, okay. So I'm like, okay, how can I do something that's different? I'm like, oh, what if I do a crossover behind my back? What if I like, oh, okay, I can go behind the back. Or I can go behind the back, crossover to it in front. So my imagination just started rolling with it. And that's, to me, it's like where the purity of the game comes from. And that's where you don't know. And then it's instinctual. You're just doing stuff. In the moment, it's funny because you'll do something and the fans like, oh my gosh, how did she do it? And you're like smiling because you're like, I know how I did it, but this is my first time seeing it too. So
Yes.
both guys' experience.
Yes.
Right.
In so many moments I had like that in my career, it's like I seen something, I saw the foundation, the blueprint for it, but I'm gonna take it and make it my own and add some extra sauce to it.
Yeah.
And living in that space made me happy. It made me happy to play because everything was so fluid. It didn't look like I was robotic when I was playing.
Yeah.
You play, you're like, you turn on the water faucet and water comes down purely, and it's like, fluid. That's how watching you play is. And that's what makes me happy because that's lost, I feel like, in this generation.
I agree. I think, like, and I said this a little bit ago on our Slam podcast, basketball to me feels like a canvas, and the court feels like a canvas, and, you know, players like you and I, we love to make art, and we just paint, and we might not know which, direction the brush is going in, but at the end of the day, it turns out to be like a beautiful game, a beautiful move, a beautiful shot. And I always just, learn and embrace that creativity in that way.
That's crazy you say that, because me and Kyrie have had that talk.
Yeah.
And we look at it as artists. Like, we're artists. We really are. And it's like you're bringing your art to the world. And it's not the perfect straight line picture, right? It can be any way, in different colors. It can be, some people see things in black and white. Me and Kyrie talked about this for Handles. And now you're absolutely in that conversation.
Yep.
And with your creativity, like, we see it, they see it in black and white, we see it in color.
Yes.
They see color, we see it in abstract. We see it a whole different way. So it's like seeing an alien from a different planet that you know they're alien to. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, just the first time that you completed the, the pass, the move that the world knows. Like, how did you feel? Where were you? Like, how was that for you?
For me personally, I remember the Blake Griffin pass where I threw it up to myself and then threw it loud to him.
Yeah.
I literally had that play in my head since I was 8 years old. My sister's old boyfriend showed it to me. I still see the playground where I learned it in Seattle, which is crazy. But he showed it to me as a layup.
Yeah.
And man, when I get to high school, I'm gonna do that. Didn't happen. When I get to Michigan, we play Duke, I'm gonna do it. The whole world's watching. Didn't happen. I'm gonna do it in Chicago. Didn't happen. I'm doing it in New York, the biggest stage. Didn't happen. So finally, I get to the Clippers. I'm like, oh, if I could do it with Blake, this is when he's Drake Griffin at the time. Like,
yes.
I'm like, if I could do it with Blake. Right? So we get together in September, and we're on the court. I think we were walking through or whatever. And I'm like, Blake, if I do this pass like this, I didn't have a ball. I had like an air ball. I do this pass. You think you can catch it? And he looks at her like, yeah, I can catch it. That's September. We never practiced it. Fast forward till March. I get a steal, and I look back at him. I'm like, this is the moment.
Yeah.
If I mess up, everybody's gonna laugh at me. But if I do it, it's never been done in a real game. So then I do it, and I throw it to myself, and I throw it up. When I throw it up, I turn around so I'm like, Blake, just catch it. You know, coaches, you're a coach, right?
Of course.
As long as the other player catches it, it's not your
It's
fault.
a good play.
You know it.
Yeah.
You know it.
Just catch it. Just caught it. So I'm like, cool, I'm done. Then he windmilled it.
Ooh.
And then if you look back, he walked back when Milwaukee called timeout. He's grabbing his chest, looking at me, laughing like, I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you did that.
Yeah.
So it was crazy because it was like with two actors and you guys are just flowing. Now you're just ad-libbing and it's just rolling.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a win. And to me, that's my favorite play ever because I had it in my head since I was 8 years old and I finally completed it.
That's sick. That's sick. Not so much started so young. I think the first one I thought of was the between the leg, underneath the leg to Hannah. I did like a forwards through the leg when I was in high school to my teammate Dom.
She was trailing?
She was trailing me,
okay.
yeah. So she was directly behind me and I went like that, which was pretty cool. But I had always wanted to do a pass where like you just throw it between your legs. And so I guess like, I don't even remember who we were playing. I think it was Loyola, Maryland. And, you know, I got the ball, got the rebound. Hannah was always running to my right or left. So I just came down and I was like, this is the time. Boom, right through my legs. And it was pretty cool. I didn't know how cool it looked until you watch it after.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel that too. It's like, was that like dope or was it like, you don't really know. But no, it was cool and it turned out pretty nice afterwards. Yeah.
Or it's the other way when you do something like, ooh, I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, and it's like,
right?
Yeah.
And I look at it like an artist being in the studio.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my gosh, wait till the world hears this one.
Yes.
Like sometimes I'll do a move and before they can react, I can hear the reaction in my head.
Yes.
Right? Like,
yes.
see, that's an alien over there, Lo, so she knows
Yeah.
exactly what.
Absolutely. Yes.
I'm doing the double shake and bake behind the back.
Ooh.
I already know they're oohing and on before that person shifts, before I even get back to the side. I already know, oh, they're going to like this one. Or I can see a shot going in before, like, oh, okay, I'm going to turn around this one. It's already going in.
Yeah.
So just activity. Well, Lo, what about for you? What was that moment?
You know what? Just listening to y'all, at a young age, I was very in tune with, like, the tricks and behind the backs. And, I was in tune.
Man, all tricks back in the day. You're right.
Exactly. He said back in the day. But that's true. That's true. So I had a lot of those up my sleeve when I was young. But to be honest, I fell in love with scoring the basketball. And when I fell in love with scoring it, it kind of took a lot of my creativity from a passing standpoint out, because a scorer's mentality is obviously to, put the ball in the basket at all means, and that's what's impressive about you two. You a little bit more, Jake, but Liv is more of a true PG. Like, she'll get everybody, but she can score that thing. So don't get it twisted. You were a scoring 1-2-2-1 everything. You can get 50, and that's one of my questions to you, because that's where I came from. And back when we played, again, it wasn't positionless basketball. You were
Had a position, right?
Yeah, you were either a 1 or a 2. So I would say, with my scoring ability, most of my accolades felt great for me when I would get 50, 45, or just really be on a tear from a scoring standpoint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for me, it's different. And this is what people don't know about me. And this is probably why I like Liv's game so much. I'm actually a point guard who can just really score. Like, I actually, people that played with me around here, where I can kind of dictate what I'm doing and pro-ams, whatever, I would get 16 assists, 30 assists. Like, I love passing the ball more than scoring.
Yes.
It's just, like you said, when we grew up, they put you in a box. Okay, you're a 2.
Yes.
You're a 1.
Yeah.
My big regret in my career, because I was a 6'5" point guard, but the biggest regret in my career was that I changed positions and went to the scoring part of it, because I always got drafted with a point, or I was there first, and here comes Jay Williams. Well, he's 6'2", we play the same position. You can score. Okay, now you're the 2. So that's kind of how it went. And it was kind of that, like the early part. I played with Stephon Marbury. All these guys are shorter than me, but we're both point guards.
Right.
But that's why I can set them up too. But, at that time, it's more about scoring. I love passing more than anything.
Yeah.
I feel like good players make themselves good. Greats make everybody good. And I feel like you can't be an unbelievable passer and not be a smart person, because you've already dissected the whole floor. You see everything. Now you're managing the game in a whole different way. Yeah. And that's why I love watching her play, because she is dictating everything. And Hannah's unbelievable. And they go like this together. But Liv being able to have that thought process while she's playing is the reason it works for you guys, the way I see it.
Yeah, I think, like, what's glamorized in our day and age is 50 ball, 60 ball. Oh my gosh, he scored 70. And that's cool. I know you were like that. And, I don't want you to take offense to that. Like, a bucket, like pure buckets. And I love a cool, like I just had 28 the other day. Like, it was cool.
Absolutely.
But for me, it's so much more rewarding to see that help defender be late or shift to the wrong person, and I hit the wing instead of the corner, or hit, my teammate behind me, and she completes the play. And I think that's just a really underrated part of the game, and underappreciated part of the game, just getting your teammates open. And I like what you said about getting everyone better. I take a lot of pride in that, especially on this team that I'm on right now.
Yeah. So I had 54 different times in the NBA and for 4 different teams. And that was an unbelievable feeling. Some of the hottest nights of my life.
Yes.
Right. But I had a game, and I have a picture I've never posted. I'll post it at some point. But I had a picture where I had 14 assists. And that was my career high, and I had 8 points. And it was in the Garden. I was with the Suns. It was such an intoxicating feeling. I was like, I'm literally dominating the game without scoring a whole lot. And it's like I was bending the game to my will. I was like, I can literally do whatever I want. Oh, you're going to be open. Wait 1 second. Okay, let me get in the game.
Right.
Crazy feeling.
Yeah.
And like, you were more of a bucket, Los. Like, I'm going to get it. Nobody can stop you. I was a bucket, but I love to pass too. She's in the place of what I just said. She lives in that space.
Absolutely.
Where I can accommodate this game and bend it to my will, the way everybody eats and everybody looks good. So what I'm thinking about here as a quarterback.
That's cold too. That's a beautiful spot to be in.
Yeah.
Seriously. But you know what I like more than anything is how basketball is so universal, and it's organic for us three to talk. Like, each of us has had different things in our career and different tendencies. But when we organically speak about the game, I mean, it's such a, heartwarming, heart-wrenching situation.
Respect.
I say something, you understand exactly what I mean. And that's what I want to give the youth on this podcast. Like, understanding the mind and the mentality, the mindset that it takes to get on any level but elite. You know what I mean? So I love for people to hear Liv's story, hear your story, hear my story, because again, this can't be replicated. It just can't. Like this moment right here, it'll never happen. I mean, it'll be different people, but I mean, this is some firepower sitting in this room that people can really learn from.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So to take that a step further, and I wasn't going to say it, I was going to surprise you guys or wait till we got on here, but Liv, when I posted you, and that I got a message from somebody, and that person that sent me the message was like, yo, I am in love with her game, the way she plays. She's my favorite. She is going to kill every level she's at.
Mm-hmm.
That person was Candace Parker.
Mm-hmm.
And she texted me and she was like, yo, she's one. So when people start seeing what she said about you, she already had told me, but I was waiting for her to say it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my sister. So
Mm-hmm.
and to me, she's like the GOAT, but to see like how she's so tapped in and how she gets a certain joy watching you. Like these are some of the best ever who are watching your genius.
Yeah.
And like appreciating it and uplifting it. Excuse me. Los, I'm so thankful that you guys are paired together because you're gonna help that like be pushed to the forefront. And that's what it should be. We have to uplift that.
Yeah. No, that's dope. That's dope. And Candace, you know, I met her a few years back and she's she's one of my favorite like vets. One of my favorite WNBA players that I've ever met in my entire life. Just, she's so down to earth. I was so happy she was in LA when we played USC. You know, I was talking to her when she was courtside and, you know, she's just like her wisdom and her knowledge and her leadership just extends so far beyond the court. And, you know, I've been blessed to have those conversations with her and just, you know, learn from her, be a sponge. So yeah, she's dope.
And the thing about Candace is I had the pleasure of coaching in the WNBA as well. Yeah, so playing against her night in, night out, and understanding the scouting report, and to your point, I mean, she's just beyond her years, man. She's beyond her years when it comes to understanding the game. She's a true point forward.
Yeah.
I mean, she thinks exactly like you guys think when it comes to distributing, but she's a bucket and she can, you know, really get it done.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of just being around her some with Tamika Catchings. Obviously, they played at Tennessee together, and you know we would just cross paths here and there, but just the respect that she carried. I mean, she's overwhelmingly respected by everybody in the business.
Yes.
And it's just because of what she's done, man, and how she's been. Shout out, Candace.
Shout out, Candace.
You to go. Liv, like obviously you got to be present. You should always be present and take it day by day, but think big picture. And for you, what would it feel like to be in the W? What would it feel like to one day be blessed enough to be there and get a chance to play your style of play, you know, as you continue to get all these fans across the world now? And what would that be like for you as a dream?
Yeah, I think, well, first I try to leave anything better, you know, than where I found it. I think me coming, you know, into the league, I'm just excited to go to a team and offer my talents. You know, hopefully I'll be put in a good situation. But, you know, when I do get to that, you know, that space and that mentality, Los has told me a lot about just like what I have to do, my mindset, my preparation, my work.
For you, for sure.
Yes. Yeah, like the consistency, everything. He reminds me every day of what it takes to get to that level. The other day we were just talking about Elena Deladon and how she literally never misses, you know, in practice, and she's so consistent in her shot and she stays in it. And, you know, it's just, I'm excited to get into that routine. I think college is a little different. You have your mind in different places. You have to go to school. You got to do this. You got to do that. So I'm just excited to be a pro and, you know, feel what that feels like and train at the highest level and learn and be a sponge and ultimately just play basketball and, you know, be around greats. Like, I'm just so excited for that. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Absolutely.
You're gonna kill it.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm excited.
I was going to say about, you know, when you talk about people like Tamika Catchings, you talk about, you know, Skylar Diggins.
Yes.
These are the people that I try to make sure that I put in her ear and her face every single day, just to understand. Because once you get there, and I want to talk to you about this, I know you have major stories when you got to the league, how that, you know, changed you and made sure that you were on a different level. But, you know, Catch and Sky, those are two high level thinkers. They go every day hard, understanding what it takes to be great on every level, on and off the floor, and not just basketball. It's, you know, the swimming, the running, the weightlifting, the nutrition. And to be honest with you, man, like you probably can see the joy in my face. It just feels good to translate that and transform her into that type of
Right.
mentality before she goes, because she is going to be great in the league. Great.
It's the ultimate cheat code. For example, when I was in high school, my pro-am now that we talked about before we came on used to be Doug Christie's. Doug Christie went to my high school, so he took an interest in me. And he was like, hey, you can start working out with me. I'm 16. I'm like, okay. So if he said be at the gym at 7, I'll be there at 6 waiting on him. So he's like, oh, this young kid is different. And I didn't have his phone number. So each time I'd be like, okay, I'll be here. What time you be here? And I would beat him there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want $1 from you. I don't even need your phone number. Just give me the information because I want to be there.
Yeah.
And I saw how he was like using ankle weights and he was like taking care of his body, to your point. And then Gary Payton became a mentor. And then I got to the league. Those two were like when I was in high school. And I got to the league, and now Michael Jordan is like, hey, you can work out with me. And I'm seeing him every day. I'm seeing his preparation. I'm seeing how he thinks. I'm seeing how he works. I'm seeing what drives him. I'm seeing how he deals with people with being a pro. I'm watching every single detail because to me, like, success leaves clues.
Yeah.
And the details is what the real separator is. That's why film is so important.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, let's film. The answers are in the film.
Yes.
The answers are with these people.
Yeah.
So if I say you have a major test coming up, but I give you all the answers to the test and I give you a year to prepare for it.
Yes.
I can't wait to take this test because you're already prepared.
Right.
That's what you're getting right now with your coaching staff.
Yeah.
And all those people, Catch, Skylar, like they're preparing you before you even get there.
Right.
So when you get there, you don't always have to make your mistakes. You're making your adjustments. Oh, they told me this was going to be like this. So I already know how to deal with it. They told me, that when I go to play in LA, there's going to be a whole bunch of, people selling clothes in the lobby. Or
Yeah, for sure.
When we went on our LA trip, they would have all these guys selling different clothes, whatever. But like, it's just those little jewels. It's like going to play such a part in your foundation, in your growth. And the greatest legacy is to when it's your time, you go back to your high school or the youngster, 8th grader coming up, and she has all these questions or he has all these questions.
Yeah.
And you're giving him that legacy. You're giving him that information. That's what lasts forever.
Yeah.
Of course. So when you first got to the league, I mean, because this is good information too, and we are. She look at me all the time. We are constantly coaching.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to get her where she needs to be mentally because, she's just the next level type thinker. So just talk a little bit about how it was for you when you first initially, because you came out of high school, right? Well, no, you went Michigan first. Yeah, half a year. Yeah, half a year.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's what I'm saying.
It was crazy. I didn't know what I didn't know. If that makes, and I went to, and Liv spoke on it when she said, hopefully I go to a good situation. I went to a good situation because it was the Bulls, but we're the youngest team in the league.
Yeah.
And I say this, we didn't have those vets that you spoke on with Candace. So I had to learn that being early isn't being there 30 minutes before. Being early is being here 2 hours before.
Yeah.
And late is an hour after practice. Eating right isn't McDonald's before a game. Those are all things I had to learn when I'm 19. Right, so those are all things I had to learn. And I didn't learn to be a pro until I got Rick Brunson, until I got Charles Oakley, until I got Kendall Gill. Those were pros. Those were like, man, they're in their 30s. They're telling me how to stretch properly. I'm like, stretch? I'm not sore. What am I stretching for? How to ice, wear 2 pair of socks in training camp so your feet don't hurt between practice. Like all the little jewels. And then I'm like, oh, I got it. Because it's a difference, Liv, and you'll see. And you said a key word. It's a difference in being a professional, like playing on the professional level, and being a pro. A pro is like they got their stuff together. You can count on them. They're on time. They're great in the locker room. They're great with their work ethic. That's a pro. Yeah. They're great adjusting. Whether it's coach saying you're starting tonight or coming off the bench, they're a pro. Professional just means you made it to the professional level. But those people come and go, to be honest with you.
Right.
20 years, so I've seen so many people come and go. They may have 2 good games, all it's time to go party. No, it's not. It's time to lock in.
Right.
Absolutely.
Two good games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm into the why and the how more than the end result, if that makes sense. I want to know the answers. I want to learn the answers, because if you learn them, you could do what you do forever, and it translates in other parts of life.
Yeah. So how did you balance that? Obviously NBA life is crazy, but how did you balance that? Okay, you had 50. What do you go do? You just go, go home and go to sleep or see your family, or because you have a lot of young guys, you have a lot of old, like, how do you balance that, the highs and lows of that situation?
Well, after I scored 50 the last time, I was on the flight and watching film.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why did I score 50? Oh, that big was going to drop coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that guy was switching every time I start finding the matchup.
Yeah.
So I started seeing how I scored 50, because if I figure out the why and how, I can score 50 again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like why, how, not just like I had 50. Then after that, I just went home. It's just another day.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the NBA, you're playing against the best players in the world. You mentioned Steph and LeBron. I could play against Steph and LeBron one day. I can play against Cam Reddish the next, who's not playing as much, but is just as talented as some of these guys.
Yeah.
So you are in the pros, in the pro level, there's no days off.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a big game on TV and everybody's watching, score 25 and have 15 assists. Then you're like, oh, we got a weaker game, so to speak. And you take your foot off the gas.
Yeah.
I was always on edge.
Yeah.
I was always looking to be better.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was like, man, I'll pay the NBA to let me play in the NBA. I just wanted to be top level so bad.
That's dope.
I carried that with me. I stayed close to that kid because I wasn't going to let myself settle.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to let myself take this for granted or be jaded.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always pushing forward. That's why I played so long.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I wanted to be at a certain level, even when playing long. My last time I scored 50, I scored 51 off the bench. I was 39.
39 years
So,
old. Yes, sir.
No excuse. I was like, no, push this as far as you can take it.
Absolutely.
And I think, to your question, I think a lot of people get success and like, oh, I'm up here now.
Mm-hmm.
And they forgot what got them there. So
Yeah.
different than you guys in the big league. Now you just shoot a bunch of threes. For what? Let's get stops. Let's move it around. Let's get some easy ones in the league will build.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for
That's
sure.
dope.
What's your thoughts? Like, what is your, when you think about the W, envision what it looks like for you? I mean, obviously it's some nervousness there, but what is a day in the life in the W without being there? How do you think it will be?
I feel like I said, I feel like college is so different because I got to wake up and go to class and do this and that and eat lunch. And like my time is just constrained. So I feel like definitely up early, working on my body, eating a great meal, obviously, getting to the gym early, prep work. We do a little bit of that now, like get a lift in, meet with my coaches, get shots up. And then, like you said, staying after. I talked to Demetrius, and he was saying that because he was that rook, in the NBA amongst vets, he was the one who had to get to the rehab and get on the table super, super early because he knew that, the vets were coming in and they had their specific times, and, he had to stay late to get his treatment and stuff. So I anticipate having the same sort of experience early on in my career. But, I just want to have a detailed routine and have my coaches there to help me watch film, like you said, and prepare. I want to be prepared every day.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Sure.
And you said the key word. Everything I said, everything you said, it came back to routine. And that's the one word I didn't say that I was thinking is routine. Get in a routine. Because once the more success that you have, the more demands people are going to try to put on you. Okay, we got to do this interview over here. We got to do this.
Yes.
I'm not saying you can't do some of that stuff, but don't let anything break your routine.
Yeah.
Whether for you, it's like, for me, it was taking a nap every single day. I had to take a nap before a game. I had to. I could not get on the court without taking a nap. So I wasn't doing anything to jeopardize that because I wouldn't be at my best at 7:30. And there's a kid watching like, oh, Crawford's just hype. Or Crawford, he can bring it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like that kid is watching. He's never seen me play. I got to bring it. So my routine kept me close to all that.
Exactly.
Great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, listen, let's look at some more clips, man. I want to take a look.
I love watching her play.
Listen, I love to take a look at y'all clips because I've been looking at these all night, to be honest with you.
Oh, my.
Come on, man. So y'all do a lot of the same stuff. Have people on skates.
We do play pretty similar. That's crazy.
You know what I mean? This was nasty right here.
Oh, my Lord.
Liv, you got that. Don't oh my lord.
Oh my.
I'll show you that one. You got it.
That's
It's all
dope.
over.
Uncanny ability, wheeling with the behind the back pass.
It's no rim either.
No rim. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Ooh.
That's it. I had to
That's
put
the
that
move.
one in there.
That's the move.
Hey, I see you snuck that one in there. I see you, Lo.
Give me some live. Let me see some live.
That's so dope.
Come on, man.
So that was made up on the fly, Liv. That's why I never did it again. That was made up on the fly.
Look.
Did you predetermine that? Like even when you were
No.
dribbling or no? You just read him?
If you pause that real quick before you get into Liv stuff,
Yeah.
I played with Kirk Heinrich, so I knew he was a really good defender.
Yeah.
And like he knows about the double behind the back. So I'm coming down the court, I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And I go behind my back and I just hop. And when I hop, he just reached for the air and I'm like, what happened? And that's what
That's
I never
dope.
practiced it, it just happened.
Because he
That's
was
so
stuck
sick.
to the floor. He was stuck to the floor, like did not move. That was the
We both
impressive
took a
part of
shot.
that.
That's dope.
Him and the rest of the crowd experienced that the first time. I didn't know what was going
That
That's
is
so
hilarious.
dope.
I got her stuff though. I gotta see her stuff. What do we
Okay,
got?
let's see, Lip. All right, it's two more of you right here.
Eh.
Come on. We putting
Oh, you
guys
like a
on the
little
floor,
float game.
man.
A little float game.
Changing speeds, changing.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed, that was.
All right, here we go, Liv.
To deal with Notre Dame's size all around.
A little step back.
So right now
Little step back action.
Williams guarding.
That is Daly, who had the ball knocked away. Andrea Daly.
Good big boy finish off
Yeah,
two.
these are old clips.
Yes, sir.
Before I got hurt.
I wanted to bring it all back.
To the floor, and she has such great vision in the middle third. That is a very
Yes,
Some
sir.
footwork.
Was off in time.
That footwork.
Handoff time for a dribble and a fade.
Here we go. For the game.
This gets her
Wait, I want to talk about this clip.
Okay, hold up.
Instead of just giving
Yeah.
her the ball, you give it to a teammate. You get her forward momentum.
Talk to us, Liv.
Because a lot of people called that a travel. And it's I didn't touch the ball. So I'm allowed to step as many times as I want until I catch
Yeah.
the ball.
You let the ball float. so to
Yes,
speak.
yes. And everyone's
You
like,
let
travel,
it float.
travel. Oh, we letting, travels for game winners now.
So think about what you just said. People call it travel.
Mm-hmm.
I say you're letting the ball float. That means you're bringing something new to the game they haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
So you're actually adding to the game. Like you said, you like to make stuff better. You're making the game better.
Mm-hmm.
You're using flow dribbles now. 15 years from now, people will be using on the regular. They'll just
Yeah.
say, oh, okay.
Absolutely. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is a dandy right
I
here.
don't lie, Los. I don't lie.
I know.
This is a dandy.
And you've been in it in the fire to know exactly how it goes. So that's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
This might be a JC move right here, though. Look.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
They're so old, man. I look like a shrimp.
You know, I had to bring that 51 up.
What were you thinking when that happened? Honestly?
Honestly, again, I had no idea she fell. Like half the time I don't really know what's going on. Like it's purely instincts. And that's why people are like, what do you think about? What do you do? What do you like? It's like I can't tell you. Like I actually can't tell you. Like it's just you do those creative moves in practice and then one day they come out in the game, you're like, oh
That's so real. That's real.
That's
Crazy.
the most dangerous person to guard
Yeah.
because you're not a pattern player. And what I mean by that is you're not doing the same things every time.
tendencies.
Like, okay, I can counter dribbles, now it's going to be a cross. I can counter dribbles, now she's going to head. You're a non-pattern, non-rhythm player. And I always looked at it like that too. I'm like, well, if I don't know what I'm going to do, there's no way you can know what I'm going to do. And that sounds like what you're doing. Like you're just out there flowing.
Yep.
Like but you can see it. You can see your mind working. You can see you're having fun. You can see a certain joy you have because it's fun for you too. You're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna be cool. Like,
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. That's dope.
That's exactly right. So obviously with the pod, man, it's a starstruck, and it's a starstruck for a reason.
Right.
We always like to at least give the audience and just younger kids and younger athletes just the real human side of us as well.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So it's certain things that happens in different people's career. I mean, we can give story after story. But what I like to do is talk about the bounce back of whatever it was. You know what I mean? So when I asked you, hey, Jay, what's your starstruck moment? Not only do I want your starstruck moment, I love for the audience to kind of get the feel for how you bounce back. Like, what is it about? How was it for you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always say, and I have two significant moments. I'll speak towards one of them, but I always say adversity doesn't just build character, it reveals it. It tells a lot about a person, how they bounce back, because adversity is the one thing in life that's constant. There's going to always be change. There's going to always be something that goes wrong. I don't care if you have $1 trillion, you're going to go through some type of adversity.
Absolutely.
And so how you bounce back or how you handle it and what you learn from it. Some people go through things and don't learn from it, so they make the same mistakes over and over. But one situation for me, I'll use the ACL. So I talked about how Michael Jordan became like a mentor. And I played in the NBA when I was 19. Like I said, I didn't know some things. I had to learn it, and I wasn't ready. So I had a few good games to end the season, but I was kind of looking like a bust. I was a top 10 pick. I didn't play a lot. And that summer, he was like, yo, you can come work out with me. I felt my game, Los and Liv, going to a whole different level. Because it's one thing for a great player to say, you know, hey, you got game, keep going. Or, you know, a long-time pro, a vet, this was the goal. Like, yo, you got game. I'm like, what? Like, he's coming to me for game-winning shots and scrimmages. He's picking me on his team every single time. So as a 20-year-old, it gave me a whole different fuel. Now I'm like, man, the GOAT, I don't care what adversity I go through in the season, the GOAT said, I'm a pretty good player. But I'm playing with him, and I tear my ACL. I'm like, what? How was it I struggled? My game is going to a whole nother level, and I tear my ACL at my highest point up to this point.
Yeah.
And I had days, I tore my ACL and meniscus. And at that time, it was like a really serious thing. It wasn't like you could just bounce back quick from the ACL.
Ooh.
That was kind of career ending 10 years before me.
Absolutely.
Right? And so I'm going through it. There was days in rehab where I'm looking at, I used to read all the slams. I would read the source. I read all that stuff. And I remember buying a slam. There were some players in there. It was in the rookie sophomore game. They were having success from my draft class. And I knew I was better than them, but I couldn't show it. And there would be days from coming back from rehab, I'd go to Barnes & Noble, come back, turn off the lights, and just have tears coming out of my eyes. Like, just truly like, I can't believe I'm going through this. I can't believe, you know, this adversity's here when my game was taken off. But that made me who I am today. It literally did, because I had to learn how to really shoot and be a consistent shooter. I could always shoot, I was streaking. Sometimes I put over here, sometimes over here. But once I was hurt, all I had to do was sit in a chair, grab a ball, and just form shoot. And so that helped me become like a consistent, straight shooter. Then it created a monster. I was like, I'm about to go so hard. And now think about it. You're showing highlights and stuff. All those highlights were after I tore my ACL. You know what I mean? So it helped fuel a monster in me. And I was like, you know what? It helped me in life too. Because I'm like, I can handle adversity and be okay. I can respond to it, learn from it, and help somebody else. Sorry it's so long-winded, but I try to give you a little insight to that.
That is valuable information, and I see it in Liv every single day. We kind of talk about this, but no, that's exactly what I want. I want people to understand what it takes to overcome it. Just like you said, after watching this, I mean, this is after your ACL. I mean, my story is similar. It's a similar story, but I want to hear yours, Liv. Like, what's your starstruck moment?
I think your story aligns so much with how I felt as well. I think, you know, I was playing great basketball. We were headed into the tournament season. You know, I felt like I was about to hit a high. Like I really was playing so well. And, obviously that game happened. I took a wrong step, you know, hurt my knee, but that was right before women's basketball really took off. That was like the Caitlin Angel whole phase, and everyone started paying attention. So I was like, damn, like I missed this. Like I missed that opportunity to get with that momentum and, you know, be in that spotlight. And, you know, I was just, you know, right here, I felt myself like about to be there. And then I just went down. And, you know, like you said, it's like, why, like how, like, why am I going through this? And there's always a bigger purpose. And I really had to learn that, you know, it was happening so I can be better in some way. And I'm sure you felt like that as well. But I came back and like you said, more consistent shooter. I became a way more consistent shooter. Not that I couldn't shoot before, but it was just the discipline I lacked. My shoulders weren't straight. I wasn't focusing on the rim. I wasn't, placing the ball properly or, whatever it may have been. I didn't really take the time to be disciplined on my shot, and having that time allowed me to focus on my principles and my fundamentals. And even though it was hard, and there were moments where, I went home and just cried because I was like, damn, it's led to so many great things. And, I met Los, and, we've been able to share stories. So I'm just very grateful for it, even though it was a hard time in my life, for sure.
It's crazy because now looking back full circle, I'm not sure I played 20 years if I don't go through what I went through early. Because I didn't get a lot of minutes. I didn't like tear my body in that way.
Yeah.
But also made me stronger. I strengthened my body going through the ACL.
Yes.
Right. And I strengthened like so many other facets in my game that maybe if I stayed straight the way I was going, maybe I played 10 years. Maybe I played 12. But the fact I strengthened my body, I didn't play as much early. It helped me on the back end. And people see me and forget I even had an ACL.
Yeah.
I think that's credit to the work and the discipline.
Absolutely.
And the love to keep going.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that, like, I think you alluded to it, but the perspective, like switching your perspective on it helped me a lot. Like, okay, what if this is happening because it's helping me further down the line, as you explained. So that perspective shift really helped me a lot. Looking at it pessimistically to optimistically.
Yes.
So
that's so big.
Yeah.
And Liv, you just got me thinking when you talked about those other players. You named, I believe, Caitlin, and Angel, and boom, it's happening. And so I'm not asking you, for the sake of fairness, I don't want to know anybody in your team. So Hannah is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Is there anybody you see in college basketball that has the same, let's call it flow that you have when they're playing that you enjoy watching? I stumped her, Los. I stumped her. I like when you take a deep breath. That means you're thinking this through. I like that.
Is it bad if I say no? Like,
no, it's not.
I love watching other players play. Like, I love.
Well, you play with kind of different, right?
Yeah, like I feel like the way I play is so unique, and the flow the energy that I let flow through me is so unique and so different.
Yeah.
But obviously, love watching Paige. She's great. Love her game a lot. There's a girl, actually we trained together. Her name's Michaela Blake. She just had 55. She's a freshman. Yeah. She's dope. We
Absolutely.
Speaking on 50 balls, like
for sure,
55 is insane. I mean, she broke her own record. She had 53 like a month ago or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's someone I like to watch as well. But I truly don't think that anyone like distributes and passes the way that I do. So I guess I just watch a bunch of scorers.
Yeah.
Can shoot the ball.
I have to second that, only because again I get the opportunity to watch her every day. And just it's hard to pinpoint one thing about her game that's normal or regular. You know what I mean? Like she does so many different things that is just in a unique category. So I can see how your answer would be no.
Yeah.
Because there's not really anyone that plays the game. That's like, is there another Magic Johnson in the NBA?
Right.
It's a lot of great point guards. There's a lot of good people, but no one really played it like Magic. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. Because people, since I retired especially, they're like, is there anybody you watch that? I'm like, I'll try to combine players. I'm like, I see a little bit of this and that. Not really. To be honest.
That's real.
Yes, I totally get what you're saying. I truly feel like if you give me a ball, like magic happens. And I don't know what's going to happen. It just feels like something special takes over my body. And I'm like, all right, let's just experience.
Absolutely.
You remember, like, Mike, you put the shoes on and just you start flying. All this great stuff happened with Bow Wow, put those shoes on. Like,
I'm telling you, that's so real.
That's so dope.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's true. I think we all got that. Like you can go in the gym right now and pick a ball up, and it just make you feel different. Like it's something about it, and you can tell real hoopers because they give each other dap and different. I mean, I don't know if right now if I grab the ball in practice right now, Liv would just run up to me and bump me like it's time to D up. You know what I mean? Or if she did that, I might just slap her back like, let's go. What you got? You know, that's just universal basketball language.
Yep. Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just, I'm ecstatic about you guys coming on. I really am happy that we're able to give this jewel to the world, to be honest, because whether it's women's basketball, men's basketball, I think everybody can learn from, basketball minds and people that have been in the fire. And really a shout out to our coaching staff that's at Notre Dame right now. One of the things that I love about, one of the things I love about everybody on our staff, who I love working with every single day, is they've played the game. Everybody has played the game at a high level. Obviously, our leader in Neil,
Right.
I mean, Coach
One at
Ivy,
a high level too.
yes, one at a high level. She won a championship at Notre Dame, but she also played in the league. Coach Owens, I mean, she played overseas for some years, and Michaela Sherrill.
Final Four,
Both of those young ladies are. But the reason why I'm giving those young lady props is because when you talk about Olivia Miles, again, I'm year 2, but they seen her coming up. They recruited her at a high level before I even got here. So it's just a pleasure to work with her every single day and, give her a jewel like yourself. This is why I wanted to make this happen. And when you guys connected, you should have seen the smile on my face.
It brought like tears to his eyes. He was like emotional.
It really did, because this is one of them for me. This is a catch. This is a sky. This is somebody that I want to soar into the sunset. And I want to give her jewels like you. So I thank you, my brother.
As soon as you DM me, I sent it right to him. I was like, there's no way. I literally was like, there's literally no way.
And
I was
then I
like,
did
what?
this. I said, do you? Well, I told you that we talked about it.
Yeah, he told me. Two and two together, and I wasn't thinking at first. But honestly, and obviously the geniuses of your coach, of Los, for doing this and then doing other things in your coaching's period, right? You guys are really, really dope.
Yeah.
But I really feel like, and I say this wholeheartedly, and I don't say this to a lot of people, and you can look it up. I don't. I feel like, Liv, you're a basketball genius. I really do.
Thank you.
And like there's only a few like that I see that just jump out at you, like, oh, they're a basketball genius. So like your game and how you play is one thing, but I guess I'm enamored with the way you think, because we're really just seeing your basketball, like we're seeing your thoughts come out in the basketball court. You know what I mean? Like, and that's beautiful to me, and that's why you'll forever be one of my favorites. I need a signed jersey. I've never once asked
Thank you so much.
Signed jersey on the pod. You're the first, so just know that. And I think you're really like dope and really dope.
Thank you so much.
We will make that happen for sure.
Thank you so much, Los, for this.
Yes, for sure. JC, man, again, I can't thank you enough, man. I really appreciate you coming on. But before we go, tell us a little bit about what you got going on coming up. I mean, I know you signed the big deal, the TV deal. Talk to me. What's going on?
I'm coaching right now high school. I'm coaching 15U in AAU. I'm helping out in high school. I'm volunteering. I mean, I say that. Coach Mike is the man. And I'm doing TV as well. And after retiring, like, I love the game so much. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I know I wanted to be around it. And I got like NBA coaching offers, front office offers. And I'm like, But TV, I feel like when you're talking the game, you're teaching it. And I feel like there's a whole nother generation of people out there who are trying to learn the game, trying to be better. And I try to break it down in a way that everybody can understand. Whether it's a 75-year-old grandma or grandpa or the 13-year-old kid. And we're all watching the same game, but we all get it the same. And I hold that with great responsibility, because like, I'm wearing a Bill Russell shirt. He was a mentor. But I'm also training Wimby, and I'm training AJ DeVance. So I'm connected to all these generations. So I'm in a sweet spot, so to speak, with kind of bridging generations and just making the game the main thing. And Liv may find this out, hopefully not like I did, because she's now, and I'm not sure they're ready for it then. My style was like an acquired taste. Everybody didn't like it. But I think when talking the game, they feel it because it can connect with everybody. So, a lot going on the media side for sure.
Of course.
That's dope.
Of course. And then Liv.
What do I got?
Yeah, no, what do we have?
What do we have?
Our team.
Yeah, what you guys got going?
We got a game on Thursday.
Well, we can say something about this real quick.
Yes, Slam.
Slam magazine.
Oh, fire, by the way, when I seen that. That's great.
Yeah, but no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I don't really have anything big coming up. Obviously, I have to think about whether I want to go pro or stay another year. So that's been, bugging me a little bit, but I'm just trying to focus on, like you said, one day at a time. I think my injury has taught me a lot about that. Just like, you're so quick to rush to the next thing. When can I jump? When can I run? When can I shoot? When can I work out? So I'm really trying to stay focused and stay poised and stay present as much as I can. So,
of course.
And you'll know, like your gut will tell you, pray on it, and you'll take your own time.
Sure.
But stay present no matter what you're doing. I watched Last Dance again the other day, and they said Michael Jordan's greatest gift, no matter what was going on, is that he was present. His feet were already always where he was, right? And so there was a million different things coming at him. He had this commercial, he had this, but he was always present no matter where he was. So if he was in the commercial, he was just in that commercial. When he was in the game, he was just in the game. Like he was always just present. And I think that helps you stay close to wherever you need to be at that time.
Of course.
That's dope.
Of course.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And a few things that I have as a coach, you put your heart and soul into it, and you try to get the best results that you can out of your team. And this team has went above and beyond when it comes to characters. I mean, just the characteristics of the team, the people's, just the feel for the game, the feel for each other, the camaraderie that we've built. It's like no other. And I give all props again to our team, but our coaching staff. We have an excellent leader in Neil Ivy. And
right.
She's incredible.
Sure.
She is incredible, man.
Right.
She is. And then obviously just getting the podcast going and getting the word out as far as people understanding exactly what this platform represents. I'm here to help people. I want to make sure that everybody understand, what the mind of a NBA All-Star is, the mind of a top college athlete about to be pro. Myself, that experienced a lot of different things, played overseas forever. But my main concern is helping people overcome different scenarios, different situations that may be a roadblock.
Yeah.
So I like to give positive stories, man, and I love the fact that you guys came on.
And it's needed. It's needed. We all need it. I need to hear it. The youth need to hear it. Whoever out there. Sometimes somebody could be going through something, and they hear just that one thing, that extra push they need to push through, and see what's on the other side of hard. What's on the other side of getting through it. So it's needed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, listen, I love you guys. I really appreciate you coming on, and we are going to make it happen. All three of us in our own lane and together, however it takes. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right?
That's dope.
All right, Liv, thank you so much. I promise you I am such a fan. Every time you're playing, I'm watching. If I didn't watch, I'm about to go back and watch. I told those I'm about to go back and watch last night. I'm always want to see you, Genius. So keep going.
Thank you.
He really
Thank
said
you
that
so
too.
much.
Like, I need to go back and watch Duke.
I just won't say it if it ain't true.
Right.
No, I appreciate you and
Of course.
your wise words. They truly mean a lot. Thank you.
Hit me up anytime, any questions, whatever.
Gotcha,
Yes, sir.
for sure.
Salute,
See you on TV.
JC. Appreciate you, man.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Anything you place in front of me, I'll be victorious.